Another wonderful year here on the channel, and another year of wonderful additions to the home library. Let's go ahead and look at December of 2024. Hey, what's up, bookworms? Mike back with another book haul, the last of 2024. This is going to be, obviously, for December. I want to go ahead and start getting all the wrapping up of 24 in and out of the way here early in the year. That way we can be full speed ahead for 2025. But another fun month of some of the additions that were added to the home library here. Additions added to. That's an interesting way to start off this video. Let's go ahead and kick it off like usual, guys. Talking about those books that you know what I always tell you. Digital counts. I mean, that would be much more effective if I had my end table that I used to have that I don't have anymore. This is off to a great start. But I swear I'm going to get this all fixed here, and pretty soon we'll be able to get back to rolling along. Let's go ahead and talk about this digital purchase here, guys. Did get a couple of things here. Now, if you have been following the channel, you know recently I did receive all of the Echo Saga from Philip C. Quaintrell. He did actually gift those to me. And I thought the best way that I could repay him, obviously, besides just reading them, was to go ahead and pick those up on digital. So I did. The entirety of the Echo Saga I did pick up on digital to help the brother out, because it's just one of those things where it's an incredible act of kindness. You know, a lot of people will send me book one or something like that. To have faith, they can send me the entire series on hardcover like that. That was one of those things where I felt like the only way I could pay it back, obviously, outside of just talking about it while I'm reading it, which I am at the moment, was to go ahead and pick up those books. And the thing is, we've actually started a read-along on the channel. We're going to be doing the first 3 books, as it is 3 trilogies, and we're doing those January, February, March. So there's still time for you guys to catch up if you want, because we just started Rise of the Ranger here in January. So if you guys want to do that, please hop on board. I would love to have you over on the old Discord. Another author who sent me some wonderful books was Janny Wirtz, and I thought, hey, I'm going to try to read To Ride Hell's Chasm this year. So I went ahead and picked that up on digital as well, because it's one of those things where it's a lot easier to take my Kindle to work with me than it is a huge hardcover. But Janny did send me that book late last year. I wanted to get it onto the list sometime this year, and so I went ahead and picked it up on digital again. Anyway, I could just pay it forward to authors who send me some wonderful stuff. I like to try and do that. And then the last digital purchase is going to be the ℚ𝕦𝕤𝕣𝕠𝕜 read this month. This one was picked by Brian over at BellTube. This is going to be Mystic River by Dennis Lehane. Now, I have not read any Dennis Lehane. I've never seen Mystic River. I remember when the movie was coming out, and I think it was a Clint Eastwood movie, and I was like, Clint Eastwood movies always usually land for me. I can't remember the last time I watched one. It's like, it wasn't any good. And I said, I want to read the book first. And then I never read the book. And so now I'm like, okay, great. Now I have the opportunity to read the book, and then I can watch the movie maybe. So it'll be a nice little doubleheader there. But I can't wait to talk with the guys over at ℚ𝕦𝕤𝕣𝕠𝕜. We've had a good time so far, and then it'll rotate back around. It'll be my pick again, which I've already made, but we'll announce that when we do read Mystic River here in quarter number 1 of 2025. On to some physical purchases, guys. I did get a couple of things this month. One of them actually made me get into an argument on the social media. Believe that? How about that? Somebody got in an argument on social media. I picked up the last of the Michael Crichton, I guess you say the Writing is John Lang books. Now, this is a scratch one. This was the last one that I needed to get these re-releases of his John Lang books. And a lot of people being like, well, why aren't you getting, I can't even remember what it's called. It's that new book. I was like, you mean the one that's Clive Cussler book and it's just got Michael Crichton's name on it? It's because I don't think it's Michael Crichton. And people just got like really just like combative about this back and forth. And I'm just like, I just don't think that they're still finding Michael Crichton stories, 15 years past his death. Oh, hey, we found this floppy hidden behind a bookshelf here. Hey, what do you know? I had a full book on it. I'm not buying that. I'm not buying it. So with me, it's like if it was written during Michael Crichton's lifespan, I think Micro was the last thing that he had started writing, and that's why he had someone help him kind of complete that. That was where it ended. All the stuff that they're finding now, I'm sorry, I just don't believe it. So yes, I've gotten all of the Michael Crichton works on hardcover now, and I'm interested because I've never actually read any with John Lang. So I've heard it's a lot more pulpy. It isn't the sci-fi based stuff, the techno thrillers that he became famous for. But getting my hands on some new Michael Crichton material, my second favorite author of all time, that's exciting stuff. And hopefully I can find a way to dig into these sooner rather than later. And then the big boy, I think this is one that everybody added to their shelf in December. If they can find room for it, this is Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson. You may have heard of him. You may have heard of this book. I can't believe I read this book as fast as I did. Honestly, it's kind of crazy. And it was amazing what insomnia can do for you. But really right now, what kind of stinks is there was this thing called Kraken Books. They were making custom dust jackets for these. And I think they went under. Or I think they went out of business or whatever. So I've got to dig back up my original covers so they all kind of match on the shelf now. So I don't have 4 of those and then Wind and Truth just kind of sitting there. But yeah, hey, these are collector's problems. You know, these aren't real problems. But again, I think anytime you can get a new Brandon Sanderson book. This is the first one I have by him that's not signed. Actually, how about that? Not signed. It's a shame. But you know what? Hey, maybe I'll actually get to see him at a convention or something again. Maybe I'll actually make it to Dragon Sale next time. I want to show if people didn't know, they didn't get the physical edition. That's got a really great map of Roshar on the inside of the dust jacket here. And I think that's the kind of things that we just, us people that collect physical media and physical books, that's just stuff that we just never can get enough of. And beautiful special editions is one thing, but it's just when it's a standard edition that looks that nice, yeah, that's quite nice. And incredible artwork on the end pages. And even though it's my least favorite of the Stormlight Archive covers, I think it's still quite good and it's better than most other series main covers. How about some things from some authors, guys? Believe it or not, I only got one. I only got one book from an author in December, and it is actually a review copy. Now, when I talked to the guys and the gals over at SFF Addicts podcast, I had them on Talk About Nothing. That's MJ Kuhn and that's Andrew Gibson. They kept bringing up this book called Lightfall by Ed Crocker, and Ed did get in touch with me, and he sent me a review copy, which I will be reading this month. I will be reading this. Very much Hatfield's and McCoy's of horror, which is vampires versus werewolves. Something that never, ever gets old to me. So I want to thank Ed for sending this over. It sounds really, really fun. I can't wait to get into it. I think Esme read it already, and she was very much saying, as much as I like Empire of the Vampire, she thinks I'm really, really going to enjoy this. And that's very exciting because, yeah, I think Empire of the Vampire is a great, great series, as do many viewers of this channel. And if you want to hop on board with this with me, I think I'm going to be doing Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. Then I'll be doing this one right after that. So I've got 2 review copies to read this month. And I want to thank, again, Ed for sending this one over because it's going to be great. I can't wait to do it. So how about some things from some publishers? Did get some things. First, I got some digital review copies I kind of want to mention here. From Orbit, I did get the Third Rule of Time Travel. This was by Philip Fracassi. I read Boys in the Valley last year. I really did enjoy it. And I said, no matter what he puts out next, I will give it a read. And I said, I want to make it a point this year to try to read some of these authors that I've discovered recently and read their new releases instead of always being like, oh, I want to read everything they've written first. When it's standalone books, man, just read the new ones when they come out. And that's what I'm kind of aiming to do. I just mentioned Witchcraft for Wayward Girls. That one was sent to me as well. Grady Hendrix. I love My Best Friend's Exorcism. I like Southern Book Club. I'm going to wait and see where I fall on this one. Kind of feels like the rubber match, see which way I fall on him. But I feel like he's going to be an author that I feel like I mostly enjoy no matter what. And Witchcraft for Wayward Girls does sound quite interesting. It takes place in the 1970s. So we've had a book that takes place in the 80s and then the 90s. Now we're going to the 70s here. So let's see how much nostalgia bait is in there, even though I was, I was born in the 70s, guys, but it was like 78. So, I don't really have much nostalgia for the 70s. I'm more of an 80s and 90s kid. But it'll be interesting to see how things go with that one. And then an author I've never tried before is Stephen Graham Jones. And I did get approved for a review copy of The Buffalo Hunter Hunter. Now, I don't know what that kind of play on words is or whatever. I don't know what to expect from this author because I've heard that either he is amazing, like in a Cormac McCarthy way, or he is unreadable. I mean, there's no middle ground, it seems, on Stephen Graham Jones. And I think Only Good Indians was the one I think I was going to try early this year. But when I got approved early for this one, I said, okay, I'll make that one the book that I do read. I believe both of those two, The Buffalo Hunter comes out March 18th, as well as The Third Rule of Time Travel. So I'll probably be reading those closer to release date, but I'll probably try to be getting a jump on them as soon as I can. A couple more. These might have been sent directly from the author. They don't have a note in them or something like that. Like I always say, I just assume they're from the publisher. So if we've actually talked, I apologize. I get a lot of emails, and sometimes I just forget who I have spoken to. But this is Dark Rising, The Dream Traveler by John Nassari. Try to get it where you can actually see it there. It's pretty cool. And like I always say, guys, I will drop a link down below because I don't know anything about these. And if you want to know more, check that link out and give them a try here. This is going to be Sacrilege by Barbara Avon. The monster isn't beneath the bed. It is in the mirror swallowing at all the vile things it wants to say, choking on bile to make them go away. Nice little hook there. This is kind of an interesting one. I got this one from Bane. Bane mailed said this one. This is the Pendragon Cycle by Stephen R. Lawhead. This is a series, it's quite old, I do believe. So it was quite interesting to see Bane. I don't know if they just got the rights to this or something, but they did send this whole thing over. They're just quite old. They're actually making a TV series for it right now, I do think. But the thing that I'm saying is unique about this is I think they're very excited about it because they sent it to me in 2 different formats, just regular market paperback and in trade paperback. So I think with this is if I ever do read this series, I'll probably do a giveaway, for whichever one I want to get rid of. It might be the bigger ones because I've run out of shelf space here. But I don't know a ton about the series. I know the name. I've heard of the Pendragon Cycle. Obviously, I'm a huge Arthurian legend fan. So I don't know how much these stray away from Mallory and the version of the story he tells, if this is aimed more towards Uther. I have no idea. So we'll see. Or maybe it's Merlin. All these books now, they seem like they go more towards Merlin than anything else. But I'm not sure. But I'm not sure why they sent me 2 versions of this. I think it might be something where they just got the rights or they just got like a reprint for it or something like that. But Bane is always awesome. And they also sent me a new Monster Hunter book, stories from Larry Correa's Monster Hunter International. So some short stories to go along with that series. I have no idea how many books are in Monster Hunter now. It just seems like there's a new one every couple of months because Larry's just a machine, man. The guy just does not stop writing. Got a couple of new books from The Broken Binding, and these are always fun to look at, aren't they? First up, I read this one last year. This is Ascendant, this is Songs of Chaos, the first book by Michael R. Miller. I read this last year, had a good time with it. It is a YA dragon fantasy, but I felt like it was very mature for YA, and I felt like it didn't do all the same tropes that I'm used to in a lot of dragon fantasy. This is a beautiful, beautiful edition. I thought the ones that Michael sent me before were quite nice, but when it comes to Broken Binding, man, they're undefeated, right? Because, look at this. It's got the cook pot. If you've read it, And, of course, the dragon egg. What I liked about this series a lot was it didn't do kind of like the Chosen One arc the way that you would think. And I thought what made it really unique is something that he did write in the story was that it is brought up quite a few times that our protagonist of the story is that with him taking one of these dragons, he's actually taken them from like someone who is destined to have that dragon. And it's a real fun play on the whole way that that dragon fantasy is done. But I don't know if there's any other art in here. But yeah, it's a good series. I'd like to continue with it eventually. Obviously, that's something I say about a ton of series, and I just wish I could clone myself, you guys, and that way I could read all these things. And then the continuation of Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn by Tad Williams. This is To Green Angel Tower, Part 1. And my lord, is this art just incredible or what? Man, there goes the bookmark. We got our sword on the side. This guy is just awesome. Like I said, if you know some of these scenes in this story, that's just epic, man. Amazing, amazing work. And again, Broken Binding, man. What are you guys doing? This is, oh my lord. Beautiful, isn't it? They make it so hard to keep dust jackets on their books here, man. It's just, I don't even know what to say. And this is just such an awesome story, guys. If you've not read Memory, Sorrow, and Thorn, I've reviewed them all on the channel. Had a great time. If you're a lover of Tolkien, if you're a lover of Song of Ice and Fire, and you want like kind of a good marriage between those two, I think you really will just eat this series up. It's just wonderful. And the last book is coming here in, I think in February. Is it January or February? I think it's January because the 3 Body Problem series, that's the one that's every other month. And I think this one's every month. But I'm glad they broke up To Green Angel Tower because no one wants a hardcover that's that big. But breaking it up into 2 parts made a lot of sense. And then, of course, the 3 Body Problem is the sequel, The Dark Forest. And wow, right? And what I kind of told you guys about when I got the 3 Body one is I know a lot of people brought up that, they know that I wasn't really wild about 3 Body Problem. And I said, but this is the kind of thing that's so beautiful, it makes me want to consider trying again. I did like the Netflix show, so maybe I would end up liking it a little better now that I don't have to worry about, the fact that it didn't do really crazy cool character work. But this, it looks like there's some full-on invasion stuff going on. So maybe this one is a little bit more the space opera maybe that I was kind of hoping for with this. But Broken Binding continues to be amazing. They never give me a book that hasn't been jaw-droppingly beautiful. They're just masters at what they do. And I just got to thank Matt and their team for continuing to send me such amazing, amazing things. And guys, if you want to get on their wait list, I've got that link down below. Yes, it's long, but it'll only get longer the longer that you wait. Get on it now and try to be a part of this amazing, amazing run that Broken Binding is doing. Lastly, guys, I do got some things from some viewers here. Some that are really amazing, some that had some big question marks above my head. We're going to kind of talk about those. And I always appreciate everything I get sent. Just sometimes I'm kind of like, really? That made you think of me, huh? First up, this is called The Traveling Vampire Show by Richard Layman. This was actually sent to me by Leon, who sent me a really nice letter. Really encouraging things about some of the things I said in my biggest failures video. He really, some words of encouragement, and I appreciate it. He sent me a really nice gift card, which was way too much. Thank you so much, Leon. It's amazing that you would even consider me for something like that. And I've heard a lot about Richard Layman from a lot of people, so maybe I need to finally consider giving that author a go there. This is the one that's really, really weird. This is called Redeeming Love by Francis Rivers. I've never heard of it. It showed up without a name. It was in reused packaging, so I know it was from a viewer. And it didn't have a name in it, didn't have a note, nothing. And I looked up the story, and apparently this is a very, very big selling book. But I read like the synopsis, and I'm like, I don't know why someone would think that this would be for me. So I don't know if it was a joke or what. But look, it could be a great book if it's something you're into. Great. It's just it doesn't sound. It sounds like very, very religious Anne of Green Gables is what it kind of sounds like. So I'm not sure why someone, maybe they sent it to my wife. I'm not sure, but it just doesn't sound like something that I would read. But hey, thank you for thinking of me. Speaking of my wife, she did get me a nice Christmas present here. And I'm a big Metallica fan, obviously. So she got me this book called Metallica, All the Songs. And what's really, really cool about this is it goes through all of their albums that are out right now. And it goes through every single track that they've ever recorded, and it talks about how they actually went about composing it, the origin for it, how they went about recording it, the genesis of each one, all the troubles that they had with it, and it's just got some really, really great artwork in it and stuff. It's got some really good stuff with Cliff in here, as stuff from when Dave Mustaine was still in the band, when Jason was still in the band, and it's just like almost like a tell-all. It almost feels like some kind of biography. And I've read several on Metallica and feel like I know their story inside and out. But it also has like a lot of their influences because a lot of their songs that they've done, a lot of cover albums, like their Garage Days and Garage Days Revisited. They did a lot of cover songs, and it just talks about why they love these bands and stuff. It's just, this looks like it's just going to be something I'm going to fall down a rabbit hole and just absolutely eat up. And yeah, it's awesome. This is awesome, awesome gift. And this is the essence of a coffee table book, you know, because I feel like anyone that's around my age now, they probably grew up with Metallica, and that would be someone that I'd probably be having over, and they could probably flip through this and find something really, really cool about it. And the thing was, is like the dust jacket was like tore up when it got here, and I totally didn't care because I thought that the naked hardcover looked cooler anyway. Really did. So a great, great Christmas present, and I can't wait to dive in to that, and maybe I'll just go like an album at a time. That way I can kind of not have to feel like I got to read it all the way through. I got some coffee, and Doug got me, I think he got me that, God, what was that coffee? The one that looked like Black Label Society on the front. Anyway, he got me that coffee before. It was really great. He got me some more, this is a Valhalla Java. So Skull, Doug, thank you very much. Is it Skull or Skull? I've always said Skull. I don't know. It feels like a lot of people are saying Skull now. Maybe, who knows? But this will be getting drank very, very soon. I just want to kind of keep it unopened to show here on camera. I got some more coffee. This is from Heidi, who sent me a nice picture of Captain Kirk here talking about coffee. And I didn't open it yet because I wanted to do that on camera for you guys. So she sent me a nice present here. And she spoiled that it was coffee, but that's okay. I could tell it smells like coffee. It feels like coffee. And now I don't think I can get this open without a pair of scissors now that I'm doing this on camera. That's tied really tight. Woo, I don't know. Let me see. Now I just want to keep this in here for LOLs. Because, yeah, that's... My goodness. Were you a Girl Scout or something? Oh, there we go. There we go. You got them... You got them trick knots down to a science here. Okay. It is called Zakarian ground coffee Arabic beans. So I do not discriminate when it comes to coffee, guys. It's like I'll drink airport coffee. I'll drink bottom shelf coffee. I don't care. I don't care. Like some of my favorite coffee is from the local grocery store here by us. So you see a lot of people that are like beer snobs, coffee snobs, wine snobs. I am none of those things. None of those things. And so thank you, Heidi. I appreciate that. And the picture is great because it's Captain Kirk. What could go wrong? Michael sent me a nice Christmas card, and he also sent us a gift basket of some, how do you say it? ℓ𝕬𝕤𝕤? Is that it? The fancy chocolate. We tried not to open it before I could do this video, guys. Sorry, we ate it. We had to. My kids devoured it last year, and they heard those chocolate-covered pretzels calling their name this year. So, yeah, it got ate. So you guys are going to have to suffer with just a picture here. But I want to thank you, Michael, for thinking of us. That's really awesome, and the whole family enjoys it when you send that gift basket over. It is the greatest. Got a card, and this one is from Corinne, and she encourages me to try out this author called, what was his name? Gage Greenwood. Apparently does some horror novels, and she sent me a nice colored drawing of a dragon, because we never get tired of dragons here, do we? This one is from Gina and Nick. I don't want to say it was a delayed Thanksgiving card because I didn't get it until December, but it might have. The thing is, like, I'll go in and I'll check where my big packages are, but the actual P.O. box, sometimes I won't open it, and it might have just been sitting in there. But thank you guys very much, and I appreciate your kind words inside. And yes, the YouTube overlords can be quite awful. And lastly, I did receive a card from Janie Wertz and her husband, a Christmas card, and they said very, very nice things on the inside. And again, it makes me so happy that I am going to be reading Janie this year, and I did buy one of her books on digital to help her out a little bit. I do appreciate that. So everyone who sent me stuff, thank you so much. It is amazing that you continue to show me this kind of support. I do love it, and it's just I can't say thank you enough. I hope you guys had an amazing holiday, amazing 2024, and 2025 is going to be great. And I'm glad that you guys are still here with me. But hey, I would love to know what you got in the month of December. What did you add to the home library? Did you pick any of these up? Do you want to know anything more about these? Well, like I said, drop in the description below. I've got all of the links there if you want to hit any of these up. And drop in the comments, guys. Let me know what you got under the Christmas tree this year. I would love to hear about it. So hit me in the comments, guys, and I will talk to you there.